good morning, everybody. Evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Oh, look, it looks like somebody else joined the Markle family. Miriam, thank you so much. You were awesome. Oh, look at all these comments already. Wow. Stay awake now. Oh, I have to go stay awake now. I'll join you then in full support. Thank you so much. Milky the Clown, Miss Milky the Clown, Miss Milky the Clown. Snow Girl, hey, another member, awesome. Appreciate you joining in. Retro, WQ2, awesome. Trace is here. I very much doubt Miss Markle will be going out to popcorn. Well, hopefully Megan's watching. You know, these are life lessons, right? That need to be learned either the easy way or the hard way. These are just life lessons. And that's exactly what they are. And it takes an older brother to teach the mentally unfortunate siblings how to act and how to behave. Because the way that Megan is behaving is the farthest thing that anybody wants in their life as a person. Because it's a fake person. It's not real. Anyway, let me explain that thumbnail. And thank you guys. Thanks so many people for joining in right away. And already got 105 watching. That's awesome. I appreciate that. All the members, Snowy Girl, a member, you know, just, you know, like I said on the last one, be sure to like, subscribe, become a member. This is all going for a great cause. It's helping me make Dad's life easier, and as far as my own, and helping me out. So that's what we're getting cranked up for here. So the more likes, the more subscribes, the more shares, the more follows, everything, you know, it's all there for you. And I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Because it's sad what's happening right now. And let me explain that thumbnail real quick. That thumbnail basically is classic, right? And it says so much about while she looks in the mirror. And what I wanted to refer onto that was, we're going to take a quick little journey back in time to when Megan was born. Okay, now this is an eyewitness account on my own behalf of me growing up in Woodland Hills, right, when Megan was born. And her birthday is 8481, okay? 84, August 4th, 1981. So yeah, 44 in dog years. Well, yeah, it looks like that, but anyway. So the privileged life, this is what gets me today. This is what really gets under my skin today about Megan, right? What gets me the most is her privileged middle-class life when she was born all the way till, you know, she never finished college at Northwestern or got a diploma, or, you know, but Daddy paid for it, you know, Daddy paid for everything. And then she goes gallivanting off. So let's just back up here real quick and just brass tacks, you know. So my dad, you know, let's see, what am I? I think I was 15 when Megan was born. Yeah, 15. So I'm out hanging out with my friends, of course, because that's what teenagers do. And, you know, but, you know, and Dad's, you know, working his ass off in the studios like he always did his entire life, you know, 60, 70 hours a week. And, you know, and then the other time he, you know, spent time and took Doria out once in a while. But, you know, for the most part, Doria was just, you know, putzing around the house, you know, with bloodshot eyes 24 hours a day, you know. And I don't think Doria had a clue what she was getting herself into. You know, she was always trying to compete with me and Samantha, right? You could always tell that Doria was like jealous that Dad already had kids. So there was already like a little stick in the mud there anyway. Maybe that's why Doria hit the wacky tobacco all the time. I don't know, but it's like 24/7 boxed wine, you know, and doobies, rolling doobies. But I don't know. It was a different time back then. it's just bizarre. So, speed up here a little bit. So, all this partying and everything and other things are going on, and maybe she's pregnant with Megan, you know? Maybe she is, maybe she isn't, I don't know, but something happened to that kid's head. But, I noticed like more and more friction between my dad and Doria because, he's out there busting his ass and Doria's just sitting, driving around like she just, won the lottery, just partying with her friend all the time from Northern California and her local friends. And, it's just like, no wonder there were some arguments and a lot of friction, and I could see why, because especially my dad, knowing my dad now more than ever, there's no way in hell anybody would put up with that. But, anyway, so Megan was born, whether she be, dependent on, certain kind of things when she was born or not, who knows, I don't know. But it sure would explain a lot. But the look on my dad's face was nothing but pure joy. He was so happy. He was the happiest man I've ever seen, and he spent every single spare minute with Megan. There are thousands of pictures of my dad and Megan, right? Dory, on the other hand, I don't know, what do they call it, that depression stuff that you get? You could just tell. She just, there was something off. She just wasn't really happy. But now in Megan's room, her little crib, it looked like Toys R Us for babies. There was every princess, princess, Little Mermaid, Cinderella, every doll, every toy, everything, every book, every audio tape, everything you could ever imagine. The kid had everything. There's probably enough toys to go around in the entire neighborhood in Megan's bedroom, right? Speed up a little bit more here. So things weren't getting any better with Dad and Doria, and I noticed some more, heated arguments and stuff like that. And I get it, because here my dad is just off busting his ass 60, 70 hours a week, if not more, 80 hours sometimes in the studios, and Dory is just driving around like not a care in the world. Now there were some outings, me and Doria and Megan and my dog Bo. We'd go to the dog park, the Serenia Dog Park in Woodland Hills. We'd go to the duck park. Me and Dad and Megan and Samantha would go to the duck park quite often, and Megan would just run around there and feed ducks, and she had she just had a privileged childhood that 90% of people will never have, right? Private schools, starting out like the Little Red Schoolhouse, all the way up through Immaculate Heart, all private schools. And it's just so much money. Megan never wanted for anything. She got whatever she asked for. Her grades were so good that she got a couple of partial ride scholarships, couple of the schools, but she didn't want that. That wasn't good enough. She wanted to go to Northwestern, so Daddy paid for that too. So back to the thumbnail thing. I just, what happened? So my dad breaks his ass his entire life to get you where you are right now, and this is how you treat him. You just completely turn your back on him like he's nothing, and he did nothing. So was there some, what happened at college? What happened at, what happened in Canada on Suits? Suits was like it. Once you got on Suits, you didn't need Daddy anymore, and then you got introduced to, the yachting lifestyle? Or was that before? Who knows? Who did you meet on the yacht? What did you do? Well, everybody knows who you met on the yacht, who you did on the yacht. That's worldwide news now. And then it's, back to Soho House, so it's this, is it with deprogramming, or did you drink the Kool-Aid at the Soho House? Like, what happened to where all of a sudden you're just too good for your own family, and you treat the man who broke his ass and gave you everything in life, right? And this is what you do to him. When he should have like the most fantastic, top-notch care in the world. you know? But yet, here, like the family that you don't have is taking care of them. So yeah, this is the family that, you know, Doria was probably jealous of, you're jealous of, because we existed before you did, Megan. I mean, I mean, geez, sometimes you just wonder, would have been better if she would have swallowed that night. Did I say that out loud? Because you broke this man's spirit. You broke my father down into, you know, a whirlwind of depression for years. And then insult upon injury. You don't even call the man, period. Not once, not one text. Since his heart attack 7 years ago. It's just disgusting. So what we need to do is to get down to the nitty gritty. I mean, like, you know, the things that happen at Northwestern, you know, like the hazing thing. I mean, you know, daddy paid for that. Daddy paid, you know, cars, clothes, cash, you know, party money. You know, a lot of people say that, a lot of people I heard that knew you, Megan, like in the college years, there's a lot of whiff going on. You know what I mean by whiff? Man, just like, you know, a Hoover vacuum cleaner. Just like mommy. Wow. But it's just mind-boggling. So, and I don't know if you have like a brain aneurysm or something, Megan. I mean, did you blow a major fuse upstairs and like you walk around like, doesn't anybody in your world ask you about your father? Don't they ask you like, hey, how's your dad doing, Meg? I know I do on social media and a lot of your posts. I leave comments all the time, Megan. How's dad doing, Meg? You know, the guy who gave you everything and put you exactly where you're at right now. And, you know, maybe Charles Manson is reincarnated. That's really what I'm starting to think. Who does that to their own father? I don't know. Well, I do know because I'm talking about it right now. So, but I said I'm gonna do shows every day, if not every other day. And the more things that come up, the more I'm gonna talk about. And if I don't have anything to come up that comes up in the news, like I normally like to do, like today's headline is just awesome. But I'm going to talk about other little touchy subjects, you know? And, you know, it's just like everybody must just look at you. I mean, you've probably got your own little group, which we know, the sewer squad. We know about the sewer squad. But, Megan, do you realize that the entire world is laughing at you behind your back wherever you go? And you can put out as much paid PR on stolen charity money, allegedly, in my opinion, and you can pay for that until there's nobody donates to your charities anymore. Allegedly, in my opinion, of course. But it's hilarious. The laughing stock of the world 3 years in a row now, and it's just getting better and better. And, you know, just little things like, when I had to write a few things down. There's just so many things. The private schools, growing up on dad sets in Hollywood, and see, this is the important part, because a lot of people know my father in Hollywood from the hit shows like Married with Children and General Hospital, Facts of Life, ABC Sports. I mean, my dad is very well known. I mean, he did the Academy Awards several times. He won some Academy Awards. He, you know, some Emmy Awards, I think 3. And he lit the Oscars a few times. The list is endless, right? So Megan's new, like, burst back into Hollywood like 2 weeks ago. That news was just flying around everywhere, and I laughed because, yeah, did you have to pay to get that part, Megan? Did you have to pay somebody to be on that movie? You know? And it's just insane. So yes, what are behind those blank, evil, staring eyes, Megan? Nobody knows, except for an evil, selfless, an evil, soulless, black heart made out of like dripping dog feces is what's on the inside of you. So, maybe you shouldn't, play with that hocus pocus so much. Maybe those, evil spirits you try and conjure up are coming back to bite you in the ass. Because I know, when you lied about taking care of my grandmother, that pissed me off because for over 2 years, I went from Topanga Canyon out to Glendale to spend a day with my grandmother, with my dad. And Megan, out of those 2 years, I think I saw you 3 times. But I went every weekend, and me and Dad went out to eat at Hamburger Hamlet, Mimi's, Musso's, Cantor's Deli. We had a lot of great meals together. And I think I only saw you there 3 or 4 times, maybe. Right? So when you tell the entire world that you took care of my grandmother and you were the primary care, you and Doria taking care of my grandmother while she was in a home, an assisted living home. Okay, that pissed me off. And Grandma would roll over in her grave right now. I hope she's up there just pulling strings to make your life miserable. Because I know she's that type of woman and nobody's going to treat her son like that. So good luck with that one. But you're just a big fat liar. Everything out of your mouth has been a lie since you told the royal family that you were an orphan. Okay? And I still have to get that letter out, dang it. I'm going to write that down so I remember it for tomorrow. It's one thing after another. So that thumbnail, the evil behind those eyes, what is it? What happened, Megan? So when people, like I said, when people in public ask you, how's your father doing? Do you lie to them and say, what father? I lost my father like you told everybody? How embarrassing is that? Knowing that these could be like the last months, days, years, who knows? When you get up to that age, anything is possible. And I just think you're the most stupid, ridiculous jackass walking the planet if you don't cherish the fact that this is the time that you should be spending with your dad and making his life more comfortable. I'm the only one in the family who can do this and be here on, 24/7 with Dad or very close to Dad in case something happens. I bring him a hot meal every day, make sure he's got everything. I tidy up a little bit. Yesterday, like I said, I installed the shower bars for him in the shower, and the non-skid mats, and I got him a therapeutic massage for his sciatica and his legs and his entire body. It was like a herbal. It was just, and he really enjoyed it, and it made him feel better. And it's just Meghan Markle, the clueless dimwit, right? There is no way in the world anybody could be that soulless and that cold-hearted and that evil to the man who put her exactly where she's at today. And that's the way it goes. That's the bottom line. But, when you sit around and have a conversation and it's in the tune of, $750,000 somewhere in there, close to it, that he spent getting you where you're at today from start to finish. Or it's like some ridiculous amount of money. It's just mind-boggling. So if the people that you see that you just run up to and try and, befriend and act like you're important, and then everybody wants to distance themselves from you, it's for a reason. Because hopefully they watch my show. Hopefully they know that Meghan Markle does have a family out there. Like, Meghan, your sister Samantha in a wheelchair. And you have Archwell Foundation. Archwell Scam Nation. I mean, Scamdation, whatever it is. It's like, it doesn't add up. Nothing adds up about you. Fake, 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 all across the board. And I don't even know how Harry can live with, Harry, how can you live with yourself knowing that this woman that you married what, 3 times before, twice before, and just burned those guys too? Sent the ring back in the mail? I wouldn't marry anybody like that, because if they do that to them, guess what, Harry? You're next. And I said that a long time ago, and I guarantee you it's going to happen. There is no way. I don't even know how you live with yourself. I cannot even imagine how you face people knowing that you married a complete fraud, a shallow, nasty, evil-rooted person. If she's going to do that to her own family, and this is all in my opinion, of course, because, I call it like I see it, but this is all allegedly in my opinion, right? It's not fact, I'm just talking out of my, what. But, ouch. So, a lot of times, on my previous programs, man, dig in Megan's purse, find your balls, Harry, take them back, and be a man. I mean, seriously, look at what's happened to you and your family since this disaster. The same thing that's happened to me and my family, and it's only going to get worse. But hey, the whole world's watching, But my grandmother would be completely disgusted with Megan, what she's doing to her father, and how she's completely disowned him and broke this man's spirit and did not help him one bit for his heart attack or his stroke, and especially now, the later years, where it's just getting harder and harder, and I just bear the brunt of it, and I do the best I can, and it's man, like I said the other day, I don't know how I find the patience, but I'm going back to how I used to be, to where I'm going to put humor into everything, because humor is medicine. And if I can make you laugh, if I can make myself laugh first with some comical videos, and I know I can make you laugh. So that's going to help. That's going to help just get my mind in where it needs to be, and just find more patience and just do the best I can do. While Meghan Markle walks around with nicknames like Salmonella Sussex. That's today, guys. Salmonella Sussex. Now, are they talking about her private parts or the things that she caught on the yacht? I mean, is she walking around with stuff like that in her pants and her crotch? I wouldn't be one bit surprised. Andy, do you have salmonella poisoning? But it's just mind-boggling. I have to do the best I can do. And like I said, that's why all the likes, all the subscribes, all the memberships, it's just going to a great cause, and it does help. So okay, I don't know why people keep saying that Megan is older than she is. She was born August 4th, 1981. Come on. Yeah, I was 15. I know this. Because the smell in the house changed drastically. It did. It stunk to high heaven. Those nasty little poopy ass runny diapers running around the house, sticking her finger in the dog's butt all the time. Who knows? Allegedly, in my opinion. But it's just, I don't know why people keep reporting that. I have no idea. But 44 in dog years, by the looks of it, is pretty accurate, because it's getting worse by the day. And you can see the evil eating from the inside out. It is. And that's what happens. Karma comes in mysterious ways, and karma works in mysterious ways. And karma's working because everybody in Hollywood loves Thomas Markle Sr. Everybody. All he had was friends, and everybody said good things about him. His close circle of people that he worked for, all the crews, Local 33, NABET, Local 44, Just, but here's Meghan. Here goes Meghan Markle, right? Just shitting on everybody that is no use to her at all. And Dad even said, he goes, one day I talked to her and she talked down to me like I was nothing. Then I knew it was over. Then I knew that, she didn't want me in her life anymore, and there was no use for my father. It's like Meghan probably figures, like, what more can he do for me? That's all he's done his entire life is do for you, Meghan. And this is what you do. You use people and out they go, out the cornhole. That's pretty much, there's millions of articles out there on that one. But, you guys can look them up for yourself. So, Yahoo News. Meghan Markle roasted as Salmonella Sussex for Thanksgiving video, whatever. Is she doing that on her Instagram now or something? I don't think Netflix is filming anything to do with Meghan Markle accused of clinging to royal titles after recent interviews. Yeah, what else is new? She's always going to do that. She will be nothing. A big fat zero. So she better, she better start learning how to make jam, and trying to copy and put her own twist. Like on one of her shows, she says, this is my grandmother's apple butter recipe. Well, no, it's not. And it's just like, my grandmother would slap the living crap out of you knowing that you're doing that. I guarantee you. So, yeah, well, I'm not really into the news. I just wanted to go in and basically give a rundown of how privileged Meghan was growing up in a middle-class neighborhood from start to finish, to the private schools, to the birthdays, to the stage performances. She was on stage in every single school that she went to. And I think there was only 3, but she was in stage. And there's hundreds of videos of Meghan performing on stage. The center of attraction. Oh, praise Meghan this, praise Meghan that. Privileged, silver spoon fed kid her entire life on daddy's back and daddy's dollar. And so it's mind-boggling that she's treating her dad like he doesn't exist since the wedding. And anyway, well, I'm going to keep that going every single day. And like I said earlier, I'm going to find some humor again. And I came up with a really funny one today. And I'm actually going to put that together because it's actually hilarious. So it made me laugh. And my job is to make you laugh. And my job is, I guess, to just be here 24/7 for my father and do whatever it takes to make him as happy as possible every single day, no matter what I can do. And it's not easy. It is not easy at all. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and it's probably one of the biggest life tests I'll ever have, for sure, 1,000%. But yeah, I don't think there's any record of Meghan with a diploma from Northwestern. I think I read that quite a few times. And I really wish I could stay on top of all these comments here, you guys. I'm very sorry, but I'm still on my phone. And I've got my whole computer right here, ready to set up. All the boxes. And I'm not kidding. Look. So right here, everything. Just got to do it. I'm going to go get another desktop right here so I can turn this into my little studio. All right. Oh, it's just every single day, every single thing takes like my entire day. Mentally, it's not a physical thing. Taking care of a parent or a loved one or whatever, it's not a physical thing. When it's a parent, it's a mental thing. And then it wears you down. It wears you down because it's a strange bond. And you know, a friend of mine was telling me earlier this morning, it's like hardly any men ever do this. You know, but it's my father. And it's the right thing to do. And I'm just doing the best I can. So like, subscribe, become a member. Oh, I don't know. Oh, every little bit helps. Forward, share, you know, whatever you can do is awesome. But it's just a weird place to be in, because when Megan hit Harry over the head and gave him a concussion and then sprinkled pixie dust on his face and brainwashed him from day one, allegedly in my opinion, you know, your whole life is thrown out into the public. So I guess what else are you going to do? There was no help. Megan made sure that nobody from the royal family contacted us, gave us any help, gave us any direction, anything, because she lied to them. She didn't have a family, remember? She told the royal family that she was an orphan, and she wished she had a family. Okay, red flag, huge red flag. Don't you think that they probably already knew that she had a family? So how in the world did this, they should have just grabbed Harry and taken him to a faraway land and said, dude, you got to forget about this one. The cheese done slid off a cracker, and there ain't no way in the hell you're going to marry that woman. The first thing out of her face is a lie. How do you start a relationship with a lie? Damn, Harry. You let the little frozen Vienna sausage do the thinking for the big one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how it, anyway, I've already said enough about that, but anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to do this every single day, if not every other day, but I'm going to put together some comedy like I used to, and hopefully we can just, you know, oh, look. She's going to be watching. Oh, Roturia. It says Jackass. Oh. Yeah, Jackass. Those were some great shows, yeah. I really like that, watching Bam and Steve-O. Yeah, Jackass. Great show. Great. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 good movies there. Except for when they started doing the fireworks out of the butthole. That was kind of weird, and all the throwing dildos and stuff. That was kind of creepy, but other than that, kind of funny. But anyway, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. All the likes, subscribes, becoming members. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. I gotta go. Actually, I just made some food, so I gotta go over to Dad's. And see you guys later. Bye.